This is the Cosmic Forecast for 2025. 2025 brings with it promise on many different levels for all of humanity. The element of borders on all levels seems to be indicated, and whether large or small, they are going to be in the forefront of everyone's reality. Globally speaking, borders are shifting and will continue to change for the foreseeable future. Populations are moving, some voluntary and some because of political pressures. The borders of many countries will change in the year and years to come, and the balance of power as well will shift in sometimes the most surprising of ways. Small independent countries will merge for protection and power, and populations will shift to flow with the changes. European countries are going through reorganizations as well, and the power shifts will not always be peaceful. The United States as well will have inner shifts where borders are adjusted because of population. And within the next 5 years, the United States is going to get larger in the most surprising of ways. For political reasons, the states will acquire a larger addition that will be to its advantage, and this will come as a surprise to many. There will also be smaller additions to the states, some not at all expected. On individual levels, it will be important for everyone to check and reinforce their inner boundaries, for the times indicate that personal boundaries will be necessary for stability and focus. The times are changing as we move into new eras. Inner philosophies will shift as well. Where once those in the United States felt protected by two great oceans, this is no longer the case, for the military can cross those distances with ease. This is not going to say that there will be an invasion of any sort, but rather that we are now on the same standing as the rest of the world, and the concept of isolation is no longer an option. Attention as to what is going on in the rest of the world will eventually impact and influence us just as well, so please pay attention. While the new year brings with it the element of peace, do not for a minute think that those who have been at war will put their weapons down. While it may seem at first that peace has been restored, that is only on the surface, and plotting and manipulating will continue with great vigor under the surface. Those who have sought power will only go underground to await another opportunity to make their presence known. What we will be seeing is only a shift of focus, and alternative approaches will be applied to seize what they have sought for generations will continue. 2025 will be a time when political handshakes will, for a time, take the place of guns and armaments. Weapons of tariffs and words will, for a time, bring a sort of peace to the world. With the redistribution of large populations, difficulties with language and religious beliefs may well cause some disturbances in all areas of the world, leading religious leaders to the decision to adjust their belief systems in order to embrace the differences and to unite and integrate parts of the populations not in agreement before. This will be a time when many will question the changes that are being made as to where the actual truth as to religious beliefs rests. This marks the first physical effort to move to a universal religion, and may also signal a departure from religious dogma in favor of a spiritual practice. Those who follow religious dogma will isolate themselves into different groups, while those who follow universal cosmic philosophies will embrace all, rejecting none, being guided by universal laws that are accepted by all. This is only the beginning, but over the decades, the universal will unite everyone, ultimately, and without violence of any kind. Cosmic and universal philosophies will begin to be more evident among the population, and practices of a more universal nature will begin to embrace the masses. As levels of consciousness expand, the understanding that what humanity has been guided by for thousands of years only laid the foundations for a more cosmic view of reality. Old schools, old concepts, old dogma will give way to a more universal, philosophical understanding that will lead to expanded consciousness that opens the portals to a more expansive reality that patiently awaits humanity. As the Earth moves into new aspects cosmically and is being bombarded with solar flares more and more frequently, the atmosphere itself is changing, impacting every living creature upon and within the Earth and the oceans. The poles are drifting as well, and astrologically we are moving from one age to another. Individually, all those energies shifting at the same time will greatly have impact on the human condition as well. Though you may not be aware of it, all these shifts and energetic changes that have surrounded us have changed the human physicality as well. Biochemically, we are changing, we are evolving, and our consciousness is expanding. The universe is, in many ways, impacting DNA, RNA, genetic codes. In the 1970s, Brad Steiger, a well-known author, psychic, and UFO researcher, after working extensively with NASA engineers and scientists as well as other people from all walks of life, determined some of the characteristics that those who were experiencing these shifts would have. They called those individuals star people, and found that diet and environmental conditions, along with sociological, psychological, earthly programming, could determine how intensely these individuals were able to take on this new energy and expand their consciousness accordingly. Now, 50 or more years later, it becomes apparent that everyone is experiencing these qualities because of the changes in the environment. The degree to which individuals evolve as to consciousness depends on choices made in incarnations from the past in which lessons are learned and applied to the current time. I'm going to share with you the list of the characteristics they came up with so that you can kind of see where you fall within the range and see how many of them actually apply to you. I believe that we are all star children, just in different stages of evolving into a more expansive consciousness and understanding of our places within the cosmos. Some will embrace the changes faster than others, but in time, and generations yet to come, we will all embrace these energies and philosophies we have yet to identify. The human spirit evolves and awakens consciousness. The journey through eternity awakens new levels with each incarnation. What we experience today is awareness as to the process and the part we play within that journey. Okay, so here are the characteristics that the NASA documented cited. Feel like a stranger in a strange land. Compelling eyes and personal charisma. Unusual blood type or even a combination of blood types. Extra vertebrae, transitional vertebrae, fused vertebrae, or lower back pain. Extra or misplaced ribs. Hypersensitivity to electricity, electromagnetic fields, lower than normal blood pressure, unusually sharp hearing and eyes very sensitive to light, chronic sinusitis, that's irritation in nose or nostrils, thrive on little sleep and do their best work at night, was an unexpected child, seemed to have reborn in cycles, for example, 1932 to 38, 42 to 48, 52 to 58, 62 to 68, and so on. Felt their earth mother and father are not their real parents, and they long to yearn for their true place of origin. Had a dramatic or unusual experience when they were very young, which often took the form of a white light and/or visitation by beautiful and benevolent human-appearing beings who gave information and comfort. Complained of a feeling of great urgency, a short time to complete an important goal or special mission and not knowing what it is. experiencing a buzzing, ringing, or clicking sound or a high-pitched mechanical whine in the ears prior to, during, or after some psychic spiritual events or a warning of danger. Had unseen companions as a child. Have had contact with angels, masters, elementals, nature spirits, spiritual teachers, or openly declared UFO intelligences. Had one or more serious accidents, illnesses, traumatic experiences, close calls, or life-threatening situations in which they should or could have died but fully or quickly recovered. Felt or sensed that they were being watched over and divinely protected. Have unusual abilities which are considered paranormal by their peers and their family. Have natural or unusual abilities in specialized areas such as art, music, mathematics, acting, natural sciences, healing, etc. Their artwork, dreams, or visions often involve an outer space, multi-moon, or multidimensional interplanetary environment. Children and animals are often attracted to them. They feel like they are one of the 144,000. They may have mystic crosses, mystic eyes, or mystic stars on their palms. They experience a strong attraction to natural quartz crystal and gemstones. Often have flying dreams or out-of-body experiences. They have a strong affinity to past lives of Atlantis and Lemuria, ancient Egypt, biblical times, King Arthur and Camelot, and of remembering past lives during those periods. They feel a special attraction or drawing to the planet Venus, the Pleiades, the Orion constellation, and other celestial locations, as well as knowing deep within that their real home is somewhere beyond the stars. They're usually starry-eyed romantics. They often seem to take on the role of being an empath. They have often experienced, when glancing at digital clocks or watches, that the time happened to be at 11:11. They have received the message or feeling from inner guidance or from their UFO contacts that now is the time. You may or may not relate to any of these characteristics. If you do, just be aware that it is an indication that there is an evolution taking place within you, and enjoy the ride. Welcoming change and embracing the awareness it brings you expands your consciousness and enables you to merge with the future that calls to all of us. I know this is a really long list of characteristics, and I apologize for rattling through them. If you want to actually see them in writing, go to my website, barbaradalong.com, and look for the Cosmic Forecast. This will be in writing up on that page, and you'll be able to see the list and scroll through it and become more in tune with what is going on. But lastly, Happy New Year, everybody. It's a really good time to start a journal, so think about it. Wouldn't be a bad idea.